Hello, everybody. Welcome to another week of Conversations with a Masterful Raconteur. I am yours truly, Florida's own Barry S. McLeod. And today I want to just share with you all about my book of poetry. It's titled The Heart Inside My Rib. Um, if bear with me just a little bit here because I'm trying this new streaming platform. I'm actually on 3 devices right now, and I'm not really sure how this third device is working out. So I am experimenting with it right now, but um, on both of my Florida Zone Facebook pages, I should be okay. And I'm also attempting to stream on my um, Barry S. McLeod YouTube page. So I want to share with you about, as I always do each week, I come and I share with you about my writing journey and my directing and producing journey and all of the things that have to do with this journey as a creative. And and a lot of people don't know about my book that I wrote called The Heart Inside My Rib. So I just wanted to share with you a little bit about what the book is about. Before I delve into it, I want to remind you that you can stay in the loop with me at barrysmcleod.com. Also, bbingin.com. That bbingin is spelled BBINGN.com. And on bbingin.com, that's my streaming platform where I house my films, my plays, video book, documentary, a lot of good stuff. Some dramas, some of the productions that I currently have in festivals or have had selected in festivals and stuff like that. So some pretty good stuff. So when you get some time, check out bbingin.com, bbingn.com, and support me. It's only $2.99 a month. Okay. So the heart inside my rib. The first thing, as far as writing, the first thing that I ever wrote, and I don't remember what it was that I wrote, but it was a poem. And I remember being in the elementary school in Gainesville, Florida, Williams Elementary School. I actually lived 2 blocks from the school. And so I don't remember what grade I was in, probably third grade, second, third grade. But I remember writing poetry, and I remember getting a kick out of writing poetry. And nobody had ever influenced me or talked about poetry, writing poetry, or anything like that. It was just something that I just naturally did. I have suffered from ADD ever since I was a child. And back then, we didn't know what ADD was, but I was one of those daydreaming type of children, kids that I'd be sitting in the classroom and my mind would just drift and I'd just daydream stuff. And so I would end up either drawing something or writing something. And so I remember writing poetry in elementary school. And then, of course, when I got in middle school, starting to pay more attention to them girls, then I started writing poetry that I never actually gave to a girl, but I had the fantasy of writing something sweet and romantic to a girl. And then when I got into high school, I was writing more poetry, and I actually had accumulated some pages that unfortunately I lost along the way. So I wish I could find that stuff now, but it's way, way, way too late. So before I go too deep into this, I want to send a shout out there to Judith Ford Martin for chiming in, Monique Wilkes, and I got to send some love out there to Carl the Rev Anderson, who just graduated. I don't remember the name of the college, Rev, but you got your degree in Christian studies. I want to say divinity, but I don't really know right off the top of my head. But man, we're proud of you and congratulations. That's a marvelous accomplishment. And hello, Stephen Chandler. Thanks for chiming in. So anyway, especially if you're a poetry writer, I want to maybe you might appreciate what I'm going to share with you about this book. It's called The Heart Inside My Rib. So some of you know that I had actually, let me try to get it right, because I really, in the moment, I don't remember. I've written so much stuff now, and I'm not saying that braggingly, but it's true. I've written so much stuff, I don't remember all the exact times in the order of which I wrote this and wrote that. But I do remember when I did The Heart Inside My Rib, I had started a concept called the Express and Confess Cafe. And that was something that was out of the concept of the chicken soup for the soul concept. And I was going to do my thing called the Express and Confess Cafe, in which I still hope that I get around to doing that, because it's an opportunity to include so many other writers. And the concept, which I don't want to share right now because it's such a unique idea that I don't want to give anybody the opportunity to take it and run with it before I get a chance to do something with it. So I hope that you understand that. But anyway, I came up with this idea of writing poetry. Now I was doing my play Divorcing Us. And Divorcing Us is a story about a separated husband and wife who meet to plan their divorce in what is supposed to be an amicable manner. But as they get to talking, things go south, the bottom falls out, but the good Lord steps in and saves their marriage by doing for them what they were unable to do for themselves. So that's the production that I won an award at a theater festival out in Shreveport, Louisiana, some years ago. And I've done this production for churches that have marriage and relationship ministries. And it's just an outstanding production. We did it in Shreveport, Orlando, Key West, Jacksonville, of course, Gainesville, I think Tampa and Orlando. I think we did it in either Columbus or Augusta, Georgia, one of them. But I had a good run with that production, and I plan to bring it back somewhere in the near future. But anyway, the book, The Heart Inside My Rib, it is sort of in the vein of what Divorcing Us was about, because I wrote it as a couple who are very deeply in love with each other, but they are split up and they live in different cities. And the guy ended up missing her so badly that he made the phone call to her to say, hey, look, is it possible that we can have a conversation? And so as fate would have it, she was missing him just as much. And so she was just as excited and eager to have a conversation with him. So the conversation was about them hopefully trying to rekindle their relationship and get back together and make it work. But they could not do that without discussing all of the very significant and pertinent things that led to them falling in love, getting into that confused place, and breaking up and walking away from each other. So, like in real life, people who break up and they take all of the stuff that caused them to break up and they sweep it under the rug and they go out on a romantic dinner or have a romantic uh, extra special night together, and they don't talk about those things that are really important. They usually don't make it. They usually don't last very long. So I wanted to address that and show that the process of talking it out, that is what the heart inside my rib does. It takes it's about a conversation. But the unique thing that I wanted to do in this with this conversation is to have it expressed poetically. So, in other words, whenever the man said something, he would say that with poetry, with rhyming words. And when the woman would respond back, she would do the same thing poetically. And so, thus, this book of poetry called The Heart Inside My Rib. You can see the image of the book cover. I actually designed that. And I took that idea of the heart to represent the woman. And I took the ribs to represent the man because from a biblical standpoint, the woman is an extension of the man by way of one of his ribs. So that's why I titled it The Heart Inside My Rib. Okay. And so that's what this book is really all about. And I wanted it to, like, when I do interviews, people ask me different questions like, what do I want to teach my audience and or my readers or whoever's paying attention to me? And I said, no, I don't want to try to teach nobody anything. The only thing that I want to do is provoke thought. I want to try to engage people and provoke people to think things out themselves. I function as a creative. I function in the way of somewhat of an abstract artist. I take and I paint this picture, however it comes out of me, and then I present it to you, and then I allow you to look at it and see whatever it is that what's in you prompts you or causes you or provokes you to see, and then the same thing with your thoughts. That has always been my style of work. And whatever play I have done, I've always wanted to encourage somebody, inspire somebody. Same thing with my books, same thing with some of my films. I wanted to encourage, inspire somebody for the sake of personal growth. But I will always wanted to do it not by trying to tell somebody, this is how you do this and this is how you do that. I always wanted to just paint the picture and provoke you to think about it, to go deep and be honest with yourself, be pure with yourself, and just go deep and think about it and let your instincts and let your intellect and let your natural gifts, let the prayers that you prayed, let the blessings that have been bestowed upon you, let all of this stuff, all of these different angles of positive things enter into your mind and into your spirit and hopefully deep down into your soul. And then you make your own decision. Because I truly believe that the average person that goes to see a psychiatrist, I've never been to a psychiatrist. I've had marriage counseling one time years ago, along with my ex. But I've never been to a psychiatrist. But I honestly feel and think that people that go to a psychiatrist for answers, they already know what the answers are. They already know what they need to do. But the psychiatrist kind of helps them, to figure it out, however they do that. So what I try to do with my work is not try to tell you what to do, what not to do, how to look at this, how to look at that. I paint the picture because deep down inside of everybody, we know what's right, we know what's wrong, we know what feels good, we know what does not feel good. We know when we're in that gray area where we're not sure. People who are arrogant know good and doggone well they are arrogant. People who are a little bit slow, they know that they're a little bit slow. Whoever you are, whatever your level of education is, inside you know a lot about your strengths and your weaknesses. So whenever I can paint a picture that is so uh, engaging, whether it be through my writing, whether it be through a performance that I'm doing on stage or in film, whenever I can prompt a person to within themselves, because some people are so proud they don't want to admit to nobody else their vulnerabilities. But whenever I can prompt a person to look at it and be impacted and see themselves and kind of get in touch with their strengths, get in touch with their weaknesses, and everything that's in between all of those different those two major parts. That's when I feel like I've done my job because again, we know when we're right, we know when we're wrong, and we know when we're happy, we know when we're unhappy, we know when we're sad, we know when we're angry. And when we can stop and think about those things that trigger that, and when we can be honest with ourselves and we can admit to ourselves what our faults are when we are wrong, and when you're right and you are right, and you're not willing to let somebody else convince you that you're wrong when you know that you're right. And there's a way to know when you're right, and there's a way to understand when you're wrong and know that you're wrong. So all I want to do as a creative and as a writer, as an actor, as a director, as a producer, is just try to paint this vivid picture that hopefully will impact anybody that gives it some time. That if you will invest some time into it and think about it, then you might end up the next time you're facing your mirror, you might choose to go ahead and see some truths that that will be of benefit to your soul and to your spirit. Because um, back to relationships, when it come down to relationships, we have to remember that a relationship is not about one person; it's about more than one person. And in a marriage and in a traditional dating relationship, it's about two people. So, with the heart inside my rib, I wanted to accomplish as much of what I just said as possible. I wanted to provoke the reader to say, you know what? Even if you're in a relationship, a marriage every day, you're living with someone every day, or whatever the case may be, you still have some things that take place that communication can take care of. Even if it's not immediate, communication can take care of it. It can be a major help and make a major difference. So you have to be willing to talk it out. You have to be willing to say, okay, what's your problem? And when the other person is talking, you have to be able to be quiet so that you can listen and hear. Because many people, they want to be heard, but they don't want to listen. Okay. So you can't solve a two-party situation by being only concerned about what your issues and what your concerns are. You have to hear the other person's side, even if you don't agree with it. You must at least listen. So with the heart inside my rib, I tried to accomplish that. So the male, he says, well, look, baby, da 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 da. He expresses it poetically, as in rhyming words. And then she has to be quiet and listen. And then she has to address what he said. And then he has to be quiet and listen to her. And then when that happens, and then she says, now, this is what I want you to hear. And he has to be quiet and listen to her. And then she has to be quiet and allow him to address what he feels about what she said. Okay. And that's what I wanted to accomplish with The Heart Inside My Rib. For a poetic, fun read that really, if one person reads the book and they find it of value and can benefit from it, then hopefully they can encourage the other person to read the book. And what I would always say, don't just shove a book in front of somebody's face that don't normally read, but say, hey, look, there's this paragraph here or this page here that I'd like for you to just read just this much. And it's at least a 50% chance that that person, when they read that, they will understand why you wanted them to read that very specific area. It might just be 2 sentences. It might be 4, might be a quarter page, might be a half a page, might be a whole page. And when they can digest why you brought that to their attention, and they can say, oh, okay, well, I see what you had to say. You say this book is about 2 people having a conversation. Well, let me see what the response to that is. And then little by little, they can become engaged in reading the book. And so this book, I wanted it to have a happy ending. So it starts off again where 2 people who are separated, they're living in different cities. They want to rekindle their relationship, but they want to go about it the smart way and the best way that has the better potential that they can get it right the next time. So they have to talk about, well, what was it that bothered you? What was it that bothered you? What was it that you need me to understand about you? What is it you feel about this and this and this and all this? And each person has to listen before they respond. Not cut the other person off because you're so emotional or whatever, but hear the other person out and then respond to what they said. Not what you feel, but respond to what they said. That way you can give the best opportunity for resolve in doing it that way. And then you just go back and forth with that. And then, like I say, the beauty and the fun of this book is the fact that it's in poetry. So people who love and appreciate poetry, you may really enjoy reading this book. And so I am going to have this book available on bbengine.com somewhere in the near future. I'm out of hard copies right now, but if I get enough orders, I will go ahead and order some more hard copies, or I will go ahead and work out an arrangement with you where you can cash out me the price for the book, which would be $20, and then I could email you the manuscript. So however you want to do that. But anyway, that's what I want to share with you this week. Conversations with the Masterful Raconteur. If you don't mind, share this post with your social media friends and stuff. That's a small way that you can help me, and be on the lookout for some work that I got coming up in the near future. I got a really funny, stupid, funny 3-part short comedy film series called She the Player. Okay. And I'm also going to be producing a comedy tour, which will feature stand-up comedians. So I got a lot of stuff. For those of you who know me, you know that this is what my whole career has been. I did my first show in 1984. This is 2024. I'm still doing it. I've got a mountain of work that I've done, and I feel like I've got a mountain of work that I still plan to do, just as sure as the good Lord bless me and keep me with good health, wisdom, and courage, and a close walk with him. Y'all just be on the lookout. Florida's own Barry S. McLeod, barrysmcleod.com, bbingen.com, bbingn.com. And I want to thank y'all for chiming in this evening. Wishing y'all a wonderful evening. God bless you.